Bakhtiari at the Bucks game last night. In 10 seconds, that's not enough. He just chugged one beer. Just wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. He just chugged another beer. What do you think? Celtics, Bucks in Wisconsin, of all places to do that. Look at Aaron Rodgers. He says, that's my guy. Not sitting
together, though.
In one shot. What do we make? Well, Rodgers is going to have the best seats in the house, obviously, one way or another. That's sort of an interesting moment. And if you look in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, you see we have been joined by a new member of the party here. It is our delight to welcome in to talk basketball and more from the Brooklyn Nets, the one, the only, Jared Dudley. What's up, Jared? How are you?
Glad to be here.
It is very nice to see you. It has been the sort of day where maybe the most normal thing we talked about in the first hour was Mike Tyson smoking the poison of a toad. That might actually have been the most normal thing we've talked about. So you picked a very interesting day to show up here.
Hey, a lot to talk about, man. Free agency, Kyrie, the process. I'm excited.
We've traded LeBron James, by the way. That's the other thing we have going on here this morning. With the Lakers not being able to figure out a coaching situation, by the time this show is over, you're going to figure out exactly what LeBron James' destination is and who should be traded for him. Ryan is working out trade scenarios right now.
Yeah, did Le Batard listen to what we actually said, or did he just decided he was going to kill us?
He was going to do his thing.
He just so I don't know the market thing for him. I know we'll get back to it. So Greeny, I'm not going to. I just host a podcast. I'm not going to start running this show.
Well, no, listen. I mean, I was unable to even ask a question because, candidly, the news of the day has rendered me completely speechless. But hopefully Jared Dudley will be able to help us with that. We come to you live every morning on Get Up from the Seaport District at Pier 17. We're brought to you by Chase. And here comes the menu for hour number 2. We're getting up with KD, who went down hard, in a manner of speaking. Not quite sure when he's going to get back up. And in so many ways, the future of the league hangs in the balance. We'll talk about it. Plus, it's over for Kyrie and Boston, and candidly, it couldn't have gone worse. What does the future hold for this superstar and his team? And then, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse for LeBron in LA, the Lakers hit a new low. What does it mean? Could he get traded out of there? Seems impossible. We've got answers on Get Up, starting right now with the game of the night and the drama so thick you could cut it with a knife in Oakland for Game 5. Kevin Durant and the Warriors taking on James Harden and the Rockets with all the playoff history around Harden. That would be almost an afterthought here. Let's watch this action. Late in the second quarter. Look at an outlet pass there. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. Yes, Warriors, a 12-0 run on a great pass. Warriors up 14 points at halftime, and they appear to be cruising, and then we get to the third quarter, and here's the moment that could shift absolutely everything. Watch Durant after the made bucket. Look at him looking back at the back of his leg. How many times have we seen that with an athlete? Thought I got hit, thought something hit me from behind. That is frequently an injury to the Achilles. I should point out there is no indication that that's the case here. It has been diagnosed as a calf strain. That can mean a lot of different things. But he would leave and he would not return, and obviously enormous concern for his health going forward. Here was Steve Kerr with his thoughts after the game.
He kind of looked back like he had been kicked or something. I've seen that before with guys who have hurt their Achilles, and so that was my first question, and I was assured that it's the calf. It's a calf strain and not the Achilles.
That's the diagnosis. Woj told us earlier there'll be an MRI at some point today. Now, fourth quarter. The Warriors are down by 2 points at this juncture, but Steph Curry wasn't ready to give up. Drills a three. Now the Warriors are up one. Later, still a 1-point Golden State lead. They get the switch with Capella. Capella doing what he can, but look at Steph. That can't be stopped. Steph Curry taking advantage of the mismatch, and the Warriors have a 4-point lead. Fourth quarter action with the Rockets down by 3, and watch this moment here. Draymond Green drawing an offensive foul on Chris Paul, but we got a little extracurricular activity, and it's Draymond Green who gets called for the technical foul. He doesn't like it. Does he deserve it? The charge is probably a good call. The bump, is it inadvertent? Tough to say.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't. Draymond doesn't like the technical foul call. Meanwhile, on the other end, next time down the floor. Oh, redemption, thy name is Draymond. He throws in a big three. He's fired up, and the Warriors have opened up a 5-point lead. Now, under a minute to go. Rockets are down by 5. James Harden hasn't attempted a shot since 8:58 in the fourth quarter. He gets the layup there. He finished with 31. It's a one-possession game, and they got a foul. It's a one-possession game, and they got a foul. It's a one-possession game, and they've got a foul. They're not fouling. But look what happens. They almost get the ball back. They've got Clay completely trapped in the corner. He appears to throw it away, but when it's all said and done, Thompson gets it back, and that's a dagger layup. That's all she wrote. Golden State wins, but we await the 2-minute report, because watch this. Does Clay's foot touchdown out of bounds before he gets rid of the ball? It won't matter now, one way or another. Klay Thompson was big last night, too. He scored 27. The Warriors needed every one of them. They win 104-99. What a night in Oakland. Let's hear from some of those who played.
You lose your best player, it's deflating. But we got a lot of competitors on this team who play great heart. And guys stepped up.
I don't know if you're a soccer fan, but Liverpool yesterday came out with just one of the great wins in soccer history. And after the match, their manager Jurgen Klopp said, he said, the young kids in Liverpool are probably asleep by now, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it, but our boys are giants. That's what he said. And I know how he feels. So I apologize to my mom, who is probably watching, but our guys are giants. Like, that was an unbelievable victory tonight.
No matter who you're rooting for, Steve Kerr remains awesome. And Steph Curry was awesome. Took the baton from KD and ran through the finish line. Scored or assisted on 56% of Golden State's points after Durant's injury and led all scorers with 16 during that stretch. So, again, Jared Dudley is here. We're going to give you the floor to start here. So much to unpack out of that game. But let's start in particular with the performance of Steph Curry after Kevin Durant goes out. Ryan made a big point, and Coach did as well, about how he's really had to accept sort of a secondary role. But when they gave him the ball last night, he came up huge.
Huge, especially in the one-on-one. Houston loves to switch ball screens. P.J. Tucker's a good friend of mine. And that's why kind of they've negated Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, because let Kevin Durant go one-on-one, get his 35, 40 points, and take away their threes. As you saw, Capella, you have to press up on Steph Curry, make him drive. Once you help, make guys like Livingston, Draymond, who hit a big three, and even someone like Iguodala hit big shots. It's going to be tough now. I missed game 2 in Philly with a calf injury. I didn't have that reaction KD had with KD not being able to play, but give it Steph Curry. He played terrible the first quarter and a half. Big fourth quarter, and now they have a chance to close out the series.
Let's talk quickly about the calf injury, because there'll be an MRI today. A grade 1 calf strain can be something as insignificant as just missing a few days.
Right.
A grade 2 calf strain can be something as significant as missing 2 months. So we'll find out at some point later today, we assume, just how bad that is. Let's live in a world right now, Jared, where Kevin Durant is not going to be available till Monday at the soonest.
For sure.
If Game 6 is Friday,
right.
Game 7 is Sunday if necessary. What happens in this series if Durant doesn't come back?
I would be shocked if Durant played. When I got hurt versus Philly, and
I'm with you. I'm sorry. Maybe I asked the question badly. If he doesn't come back, how does the series go?
They will lose Game 6 in Houston. And in Game 7 at Oracle, they will have a chance. Steph Curry in that crowd, and you'll need guys like Iguodala, and I'll give them a fighting chance. For me, if I had to bet my house, I'm betting on Houston.
On Houston,
in
Game 7 circumstance.
In Game 7 at home.
KD. Yes. Ryan, your thoughts?
I love what I saw from Curry last night in that fourth quarter. Once he realized, okay, decisiveness. This is what I have to be now, because there isn't that outlet that fix everything one-on-one play with Durant. And you brought up a great point in that they're going to run him off those threes. They want Curry to drive, and then they're going to help off of everybody. Now they're going to be helping off of everybody except Clay.
Right.
And his Livingston, he has no range. Jerebko almost broke the backboard last night. Draymond, they'll love for him taking threes.
Sure.
So I understand from the technical side of this, it actually doesn't favor Golden State with KD out. But I saw a James Harden in the fourth quarter that I've seen before. So just banking on him in a Game 7 on the road isn't exactly a bet that I want to make either.
We overreact to James Harden in the fourth quarter. Forget me. He's had a really good series. He was unbelievable in Houston. They trapped him and got the ball out of his hands, and he made the right play. The key thing with Steph Curry to me is that his role changed. As soon as Durant went out, all of a sudden, he put back on that Batman uniform. Mm-hmm. He was robbed. All of a sudden, he said, you know what? I've got to make plays. I've got to be the guy that everything's going to run through. And he took over the game, like he did when they won 73 games without Kevin Durant. So
yes, but I want to ask you this. Let's go back to what Jared began by saying, which is that their strategy had been switch everything, don't let Steph and Clay beat you, and now Durant. They're going to have now a day and a half to prepare for no Durant. So the defense is going to change substantially for Houston. How different is that, Steph? It's one thing to do it when they haven't prepared for this version of the Warriors, but it should be different tomorrow.
It's going to be really different. They could blitz Steph and just absolutely get the ball, and you cannot get him any room in rhythm. In transition, meet him early, corral the basketball, commit a second defender. Any ball screen, you've got to blitz him. You'll stay home on Clay. And Clay was absolutely terrific, especially early in the game. Stay home on Clay, and you're going to make someone else beat you. Steph Curry, without Durant, cannot beat the Houston Rockets.
Houston has no excuses. Last year they complained about CP's hamstring. Now KD's most likely gone for the series.
They've complained about the calls a little bit.
The calls. The thing about Houston, they're not going to change their style. They're still going to switch it. They don't believe Steph Curry going a one-on-one for 48 minutes can shoot a high enough percentage to beat them, especially without KD. Klay Thompson should be negated because of the screen. Big game for him. I've got Houston.
And then we did just touch on it briefly. Ryan brought it up. Harden, he doesn't take a shot for almost a 9-minute stretch in the fourth quarter last night. And the only basket he gets is a layup they basically gave him at the end. What did you see happen there?
I think there's a little bit more on CP. CP's a veteran. I played with CP. I think he was, 3 for 14. I thought he took bad shots, a little too much flopping. He has to know in this late of his career, he's 34 years old, he has to give the ball back to James
so happy
Harden.
right now.
He has to. He knows. I mean, look at, PJ, Eric Gordon, those guys, they're in the corners to hit big shots, but CP runs the flow. He knows, hey, my man, he was shooting like 60%. Harden's got to touch the ball, and you know what? You want to have Harden have that personality? CP has that personality. He was getting it with Draymond too much. CP needs to be better if they want to get past them.
When did you play with CP?
Clippers, about 4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5. He was a different dude back then.
I agree.
Like, he's on the wrong side of the bell curve right now. He wins and he makes plays here.
Yes.
His game is not anywhere near what it used to be. He can't win you games with his game. He might win it with his mind. He had to get that ball back to Harden and give Harden a second look as opposed to have the ball stick with
I guess I would ask, you were a coach, you were a player, but isn't someone out there supposed to say, give the damn ball to James Harden at this point? He's carried us all year long. He's probably the MVP of the year. How in the world does he not get a shot off in the fourth quarter? Can't someone say that to Chris Paul? Like Harden or the coach?
Definitely in timeout, you definitely can. And even role players, if you have that personality, PJ Tucker, I just think that Chris Paul is such a dominant personality, and he's been there before. You're hoping that, hey, the guy, it's like Looney guarding him. Livingston, guys, you think that he would be able to get by, but he's having a difficult time.
Harden a different guy in Game 6?
Yeah, he's going to be home. He's going to be thinking about it a little bit. And there's no way. Any of these special players, and Harden's certainly that, you have to think this motivates you a little bit. Yes. Going back, they'll look at the film and be like, okay, even as you've been great to point out. You got to give
Kerr some credit for trapping.
If you're trapping me like that, I'm now going to be adjusting off of that. So if they do the same thing against Harden and he's at home, he's going to have a better game.
All right, got to move to the other game here. There's so much to unpack out of both of them.